Hello everyone, long time no see. I was actually offline last week, but today I'm going to create a new video about the update that came on February 16, 2023, and it's about uh, productivity activity log for teams. We have AI generated custom actions. We have test modes, run modes, performance improvements, and more stuff at the end. So let's begin. First thing first, let's begin with production activity log for teams. So in FlutterFlow, you can actually have teams. How you can reach that, or how you can actually collaborate with someone, you have to go to settings and then project setup, collaborations, and then you can invite a user to actually help you with your project on your or your app. In my case, actually, I'm not a good UI or UX uh, guy, so I'm actually using some a friend of mine who is actually helping me with some of the projects. So just click invite, write an email. They need to register with the same email to FlutterFlow, and they will actually receive an email, and they will need to register, or if they already registered, they will actually the project will show up on their dashboard when you go to app.flutterflow.io. And then the new thing that was not here before that, it's project activity. Below is a breakdown of recent activity in your project. So we have the Dimitar Kulturov, that's my name, updated, and it says what? Custom code, and it says when. And this is actually a good thing when you want to track down who actually worked on your project, and if you have a team who worked on your project and what they actually did on the project, which is great. You can also download the logs of this project. Another new thing that I don't want to forget about is actually the upper left corner. It's actually changed here. I don't know if I can actually zoom a little bit. I'm not sure about it, but probably this is a little bit better, I hope. But before that, you were actually only seeing the FlutterFlow version, which in my case, it's 3.1. But right now, you can also see the Flutter version, which is 3.7.3. So, and also you can see the release date. So keep in mind that FlutterFlow version can be 3.1 like month or months, but actually the released version will be changing. So in this case, it's the last one is the February 17, but for example, it could be February 20, and the version will still be 3.1. So keep that in mind. I know it's a little bit confusing because I was hoping that this version will actually change every time there is a new update to FlutterFlow, but unfortunately this is not the case. They only changed the release date, and and I don't really know what is the how they changed the actual number. So what is the logic behind this? If the FlutterFlow team is watching this, let me know what is the logic behind changing the number. But yeah, this is what is new, and it keeps access to the last 7 days, the edits of the last 7 days, and while FlutterFlow Enterprise users can access and download all previous project edits. So if you're on a FlutterFlow Enterprise user, you can actually access all the previous change and not only the last 7 days. And let's keep on. And we actually landed in an AI generated custom actions. So this is actually a cool thing because when you go to custom code, right now, as you probably already know, you have the OpenAI Codex. So if I click over here, and if I, for example, want to say sum two numbers and return the result. And if I click this green button, it should actually give me a code and generate me a code which I can later use in my custom function. And this is an old thing, like I think this is from version 1 of FlutterFlow already. But let's see it in actions because to be honest, I'm not using it. But of course you can use it as you can actually see the result why I'm not using it. You can actually see that for some reason, maybe because I'm using, I think this is because I already did that on a function that I already have a code for it. I'm not sure, but probably this is the case. So maybe I should try with a new function. So let's try with a brand new functions without any code, and let's see what will I end up. Because to be honest, when you actually have a function and when you write this, I think the whole idea is that when you try to generate code, I think the whole idea is that it will the the AI will actually look at the code that you already have, and it will try to actually change the code and generate a new code based on the code that you already have. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. So in my case, I would try it with a brand new code, brand new function, and you can actually see it's failing really hard because I don't have any, the code generated, it's not right. So let me try and write, for example, num1, this would be an integer, and this would be num2, and this would be an integer. So let's import some arguments. Let's import two arguments like numbers. And when I import two arguments, if I go back to to function code, and I should now see that the AI will see that I have two arguments and to actually sum the two arguments and then return the result. Let's see that if this is the case, and indeed it is actually a case. This is the case, and this is actually confirming my theory that if you the thing that is only changed by the AI, it's those lines over here. So it's inside those brackets. The AI code will not change what is over here. So keep that in mind when you create your generated code. Make sure that you have all the arguments first, and then try to generate the code using AI. And this is, as I said, this is an old, let me cancel this because I don't need it. This is an old function, this is an old functionality for the custom functions. But right now we have custom actions. And if I go over here, and if I, for example, go to custom actions, and let's say that I want to get access to my document. So let's say that I have a list of documents. Let's say that I have a list of documents of orders, for example, which will be orders. And then if I go to view boilerplate code, and let's name this like AI demo, for example. And then if I go to boilerplate, I should be able to copy this code into the editor. And then if I go to OpenAI, I should be able to say filter my orders by date which is greater than today date. And of course I misspelled greater. Of course it's written like that. And then if I and maybe and return the result as the result as list of documents. And let's see if this works. It should in theory get the today date, check if the date it's greater than today date. If it should be actually less than today date, I think, or greater, doesn't really matter. It's just using a filter, and then to return the results. Now let's see if this will actually work or not. Okay, so now what we have here is that we have an AI, which I don't know what is this, to be honest. And then we have the AI response. This is AI text request, and it says filter my order by date, which is greater than. This is actually what I wrote over here, and then it's actually printing some strange things. And this can actually, I think this is not knowing what is going on over here. And definitely not knowing what is going on, and definitely this is not working, and this is resulting in this will result in an error. But let me try one last time, because I want to actually go over here, go to orders, and I want to take the date. So I want to say to the code that it should get the date. So I never saved my custom action, so let's create a new one. So this will be like filter orders will be the name of the action. I think the name of the action matters, because last time my action name was AI demo, and then I think that the AI was confused about that. So let me try to name it correctly this time. So this will be a list of documents of orders. And let me get the boilerplate, copy it again here, and then OpenAI code. I will actually say here, filter my orders by the field name date, which should be okay, which should be less than the current date, and return the result of the list, the result as list of documents. So this sounds like legit. Should be less than 100 characters. Okay. When you actually see this error like that, you unfortunately you cannot. It's hard to actually remove it. But in my case, I just deleted the text and then paste it again, and that's how I remove it. I don't know how many characters I have right now. Okay, so apparently I have 127 characters, and I have to actually make it to 100. So filter my orders by the field, by the field name date, which should be okay, which by the date less than the current, less than today date, and return the result as list of documents. Filter orders maybe. Okay, I have 102. And if I remove those two, I will have 100. But I want to keep actually the quotes because I think the quotes are very important. And result list, and I'll just remove off. I hope that the AI knows what I'm saying and what I'm trying to do. And let's see what will happen now. Okay, so this is the result. It's actually for the first, it looks good. So let's see code by line by line. So this the first thing is the no safety check, which is actually a good thing because you should need this no safety check because if you don't have it, you get an error on line 8. So this is good from the AI. And then we have the filtered orders. And then we have for each order. So this would be looping through all the orders, all the documents. And then we have orders. And this is the single order. And then here at the single order, we have the date. And we are parsing this to order date. And we have the today date. And we are saying that if it's today date is before today date, if it's the order date is before the today date, then we have a new list of orders and just put it in this new list and then return it. This actually looks legit. So if I copy action, copy code into the current custom code, yes, I want to copy it. And we should wait this to load and we'll see if we have any errors. But as I said, at first I don't see that there are any errors. But let's see. I don't see any errors now as well. How can I, because sometimes this is actually working, but in reality it's not working. So what I'm actually doing in order to check if if there are any errors, I will actually do string, and then I will say demo, and then I will put an integer here. And if I do it like that, I should always get an error because I cannot put an integer into a string, right? So in my case here, I'm getting an error. So now I know that the code analyzer is working. So if I don't get any errors, I know that at least I'm not getting errors from the code. But I'm actually getting errors, and the error that I'm getting is the order .date. And to be honest, I'm not sure if you can actually access the fields like that. So in order to access the field, because here the error, it says that the argument of type datetime cannot be assigned to the parameter of type string. So apparently I have to convert this. So this is almost working. I don't know if I can convert it to string like that. Not sure about it. I'm getting an error right now, which is overlapping this for some reason. But yeah, if you go under here, you should see the error, which is the method cannot be unconditionally invoked because this can be no. So the date can be no. And if I get it with this sign, we should not get any errors, which is good. But the problem is that we got almost like 90%. We got like 90%. Let me compile this. We got like 90% of the action, but we still needed to actually fix that and wrote something. So in my if you ask me what is my advice is to actually use an AI like external AI and not the one that is in FlutterFlow. So what I mean by that is that you can use the one in FlutterFlow, but if you ask me, it will not work at the first time, and it will right now at the state of the AI, it will not work for the first time, and then you actually need to do it externally. What I mean by that is that you can go, for example, in ChatGPT, try to create this from there, and then if you get any errors, you can work with ChatGPT to actually help you fix the error. And then this is the AI custom actions. It's actually, as I said, it's a great thing, but if you ask me, I will actually prefer to use it externally and then use something like ChatGPT and then just paste the code over there. And lastly, the last thing, the major last thing that we have is this test mode and run mode performance improvements. You can now get faster startup times for both test mode and run mode. And it says that you actually see a significant change of the loading time. To be honest, I actually tested that yesterday. When I try to load the test mode, for example, I noticed two things. The first thing that I noticed is that before this change or before this update, when I actually click exclude from compilation, uh, I got an error. If I had any errors, I get an errors when I run the test mode. But right now, I don't get any errors in the test mode. I don't know if this is specific my use case. It was like a use case specific, or the test mode will not show you the errors if there are any errors. It will just tell you there is an error, but it will not actually tell you where is the actual error. But when I actually try to run in the run mode, I actually got the error, and this is actually how I was able to debug my code. And talking about that, I will actually do my next video. I'll actually do how you can actually debug your code in FlutterFlow when you use a custom code. I think this is something that will be very interesting for all the users using FlutterFlow. And then you can see right now it says this should take no more than 2-3 minutes, but I will actually leave that in real time because I don't think, because it says, as I said here, it says significantly decrease in test mode instant reload times, which will actually test right now. And it says you get faster startup times for both test mode and run mode. But for right now, I see that the test mode, it says 2-3 minutes, and it's actually, to be honest, not faster than it was before. And in the meantime, if I try to get the run mode, it should actually says the same thing. It should say 2 to 4 minutes, and here it says 2 to 3 minutes. So in reality, test mode should be faster than the run mode. And if you ask me, I always use test mode for the sole reason that you can actually instant reload your test mode and you can test it like that. And it's much easier than every time loading a run mode. Test mode was actually not working at the very beginning of FlutterFlow, but right now they actually did it like a lot of improvements. As you can see right now, it is actually working it's much better. And I'll actually pause right now because it's taking like more time than it should be. I think we already passed the 3 minutes mark, but let me pause it and then let's see how many more minutes. Let me just wait 15 more seconds and then I will tell you how many minutes passed when I paused and when we come back. So it took like 40, around 40 seconds, 40 or maybe 50 seconds, which I think it's more than 3 minutes for sure. And the run mode actually load like 5 minutes. It took like 5 minutes or something like that. But let's try and actually run a stopwatch to see if it is actually running faster. So let's hit instant reload over here, and then let's see the stopwatch. What to actually say? Because in reality, it's actually saying that this should not take more than 10 seconds, I think, or something like that. I don't see it right now because it was actually very fast because there is a screen loading. It says 10 seconds, but right now it is actually beyond this 10 seconds. And actually keep in mind that it really depends on the size of the project. My project right now, I want to switch it to see because I want to actually see how many minutes we, okay. Okay, so for some reason this is actually happening sometimes. I didn't change the project as you saw, but I get an error for some reason. But what I wanted to say is that my project is actually a big project, and I think this error actually came from the filter because I haven't tested. So I'm pretty sure that this error came from here. So let me just delete this custom action because I think there is an error here. And we can actually test it like that. So let me just delete this. And then let me run. So let me first run the run mode, see how many minutes it will take. And then I will run the second one. So let's compile this first. Okay, now it's compiled. I will run the run mode, but keep in mind before I run the run mode, I just wanted to say you that I have more than 50 pages, 50 and not 15, 50. So there are a lot, and I think that my project will count as a big project because I don't think most of you have 50 pages. But let's run this. Let's start the timer, and then let's see how many minutes it will actually take, because here it will actually say it will actually take 2 to 4 minutes. So now we're getting closer, and yeah, it is loaded for 3 minutes and 46 seconds. It is actually, according to FlutterFlow, it should load in 2 to 4 minutes, and this is correct. Even that I have like more than 50 pages, it actually took the run mode. This is the run mode. It took from 2 to 4 minutes, and it took 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And now let's try the same thing with the test mode. This is the test mode. Let's click the test mode and reset. Start again. And we'll see when the test mode actually loads. And it will actually load. It says that it will actually take 2 to 3 minutes. Let's see if this is the case. Okay, so it took like 3 minutes and around 50 seconds. Actually stop at 6 seconds later. Sorry about that. So it took like 3 minutes and 50 seconds. It's actually not that far from the run mode, to be honest. The test mode should run faster, but I think in my case, it's actually the same thing. And I'm not sure if this is because I have like more than 50 pages. So let me know, what do you think? Let me know if this is actually if it is actually better than you, and if it's actually faster loading. And I actually have one more thing to test, because it says that the run mode should take, when you actually instant reload, it will actually take less than 10 seconds. But let's see if this is actually the case. So let me try that right now. So if I click instant reload start, pause, reset, start, and it should say 10 seconds. Okay, let's add 1 second to this number because I had like 1 second delayed before I click it. And as I said, I have more than 50 pages, so my project is huge. And it's taking twice the time right now. So it's taking 3 times the time now. Still loading. It's nearly done because it's in this fast of the loading. And when is this like that, you should be able to see your project or your app in a bit, but it's still loading. So it's 51 seconds, more than 51 seconds. And now it's loaded. So it's around 1 minute. Let's say that I was late 1 second, but yeah, it's around 1 minute. So it's still like 10 times more than a time that they actually this actually says over here. Let's try one more time. Last time actually. Let's reset this. Instantly load. Start it. Let's see if this case will be again 1 minute. And while we're waiting, I actually wanted to show you. I cannot actually show you because I actually wanted to you guys look at what is going on over here and how this is loading. But yeah, let's wait 30 seconds more and see what will happen. And it actually says here that you actually have 30 minutes to use the test mode, and after 30 minutes, let's pause it. So now, yeah, it took like a little bit less. It took like 46 seconds, but it's still like 4 times than the amount that they say that it should load, because they say that it should load in 10 seconds, and it took like the first time it takes like 60 seconds, and the second time it took 46 seconds. So definitely there is room to improve that, but I appreciated that they're working on it and that it will get better and better. But to be honest, like I said, I don't see any difference from the one that it was before the update and right now after the update. And then the last thing that we'll talk about is actually the new indicator if you're adding a widget as a child or sibling. So let's go to my projects. Let's create a new page, or let's go to one of the pages that I already have. So let's go, for example, with this form. And if I actually create a text over here, a demo text, and if I move it to the colon, for example, you can actually right now see this bar loading. And this bar loading is actually indicating that this will be a child of this colon. In my case over here, this would be a child of this colon, or you want to be a sibling of this colon. So if I move it over here, this would be a child. And if I just drop it over here right now before loading it, it will be a sibling to it. But because I cannot have 2 siblings inside the scaffold, it will actually ask me, do you want to wrap it in a colon on a row, or wrap it in a stack? I don't want to do that. But yeah, this is actually better, because before that it was just this line that it's showing you, the orange line and the purple line. But right now you can actually see that you have to wait a little bit in order to get it as a child, because as a child should be the purple one and the orange one will be a sibling one. So it says over here, like what I just said. And now there is a new web publish button in the FlutterFlow Builder. So you can now directly publish from the FlutterFlow Builder. I'm not sure if I can do it right now because I don't think I have a web publishing enabled. I'm not sure about it. But apparently you can do it from over here, which I don't think I have. I have to first open the platform settings and then set up everything in order to see this button. But if you've done this, apparently right now you can actually deploy it from here, which is good actually. This is a good improvement. And the other improvement is that there is a relevant relative timestamp format has option for shortened version, like in minutes, like 5 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, and so on and so forth. And they're working actually on storyboarding and the Razorpay integration, which is actually I think mostly used in India. And we're still waiting actually for the actions on Tago icons. And yeah, that's it for now. Please visit my calendar in order to actually go to my every Wednesday. Actually move this from from Mondays to Wednesdays, so you can actually join me every Wednesday's lives and ask me any questions that you want. The link it will be on the in the description. So thank you very much for watching and have a good day.